Thanks so much for listening to Cinephile as we continue. I'm Adnan Virg, joined by special guest Norm MacDonald.
Wait, why is Jeff Goldblum on?
Well, yeah, sometimes we have all these TVs up here in the studio. There's maybe a story about Goldblum going on. He's looking kind of creepy there, isn't he?
Yeah, usually you can tell by the picture
that something's happened to him.
because he's in a bathroom. There's a picture of him in a bathroom.
Yeah, I think he must be selling something, right? Because it's a Goldblum.
Yeah,
for those listening,
look at his muscles.
It's a Goldblum 8x10. There's pictures of
maybe
he's coming to Connecticut.
He told me a story, but I guess I'm not at liberty really to.
That's okay.
I'll tell you off pod.
Please do. 2 Canadians here.
Yeah, that's right.
You're the second Canadian to be on the podcast. Will Arnett was the first.
Will Arnett.
Do you know Will at all?
Where's he from?
He's from Toronto,
okay.
And he's right in the city. You were born in Quebec City, but you grew up in Ontario?
Yeah, Quebec City is all French, and we were English. So, the English hate the French, and the French hate the English.
Right, the Quebecois.
So, I was born with the Quebecois around, and my dad, you could go to school, you could either learn French or Latin. So my dad would not let me learn French because he was so afraid that I would, take up with a French girl or something like that. So I learned Latin, and that doesn't help you that much in Quebec City, where there's a lot of French and no ancient Romans.
But I will say this: Montreal is more bilingual. Like Quebec City, is very much French.
No, Montreal is English.
In Montreal, if you go there, you speak English, you feel fine. People get terrified. They go, "Oh my God, I don't know the language. I don't understand."
Oh no, Montreal is very cosmopolite.
The reason I mention this is last week you met Donald Trump.
I did.
On the Tonight Show.
I sort of met him.
Well, how big are his hands?
I didn't really shake his hand.
Okay,
this is what happened. I have met him before, and he does have gigantic hands. It's like shaking the hand of a Holstein cow. No, but this is what this is the true thing that happened. There's like about 4 minutes difference because I had to follow him, So he leaves in the hall, and I'm in the hall, and I'm going to go on, right? I'm the second guest. First time ever I'm the second guest, thanks to Trump. So I see Donald Trump, so I say, Donald, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? So he turns to me, and he goes, hey, points at me, He goes, big smile. He goes, just give me 1 minute, and we'll take a picture. So I go, thanks. Then he turns around. He has a Secret Service, and he walks down the hall and gets in an elevator. He just
Donald Trump completely stiffed you.
Yeah, he said in a minute, and then he left the building.
The oldest trick in the book. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Exactly.
Just standing there at a ball game. Can you sign my ball?
Oh, my God.
Well, the reason I mentioned this
I remember Euchre. I was with Euchre in a booth, in Arizona. It was a spring training. And so all the fans were trying to reach up, to hand him balls to sign, So Euchre would sign a ball, and then he'd hand it to me. He goes, here, fucking sign it. So I go, no, I don't want to sign. Like, they don't want me to sign. He goes, sign it, man. So I go, all right. So I'd sign the ball, and then the guy would get it. I'd go, oh. Like, I completely devalued what value Euchre had just put on the baseball.
That's not true. It's more value with that.
Probably worth less than an actual baseball at that point.
I want to get your thought. This is why I'm considering
a store-bought baseball.
Because as Canadians, we're not allowed to vote in this country.
No, we can't vote.
And people keep saying, no, you have to. Barry Melrose is like, no, you have to apply for U.S. citizenship so you can vote. This is the most important election of our time. And I looked up the rule. I don't know if you ever went this far, but in order to apply for U.S. citizenship, there's a caveat there, Norm, that says you must renounce all loyalty to any other country. And I said, hang on a second. Like, I'm proud to be an American, but I'm a proud Canadian.
You can't be a dual citizen?
No, it's you can, but you have to renounce loyalty to Canada.
Oh, I see.
I don't want to renounce loyalty.
Yeah.
Is that your reasoning as well, that you've never...
No, my reasoning is that the test is way too hard. You know what I mean?
How many Supreme Court justices are there?
How many stripes on the flag? I don't know. Like, our flag has a leaf. Like, here a flag is so important. Like, you can't burn it. Oh, you can't burn the flag.
You have to stand for it.
Yeah, Canada, it gets cold, you burn the flag. I mean, there's a leaf on it. It almost invites incineration,
Especially like the prairie provinces. They don't really, in Saskatchewan. Go ahead.
Yeah.
OJ.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
8 teams in the
Eight
CFL,
teams.
and both had the same nickname for years.
Two of them.
The first question Americans would always ask me.
Yeah,
They ask about
but there's
Don
no
Cherry.
answer to it.
No, there is no answer. It's just a really good name, though. I don't think there's
fantastic name. It's
Yeah.
also an American name because Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. So
Very
I don't know how it came to Canada, but no one has the answer to the question.
Your brother's a journalist at CBC, isn't he?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should ask him.
Yeah, he should do it like a documentary and try to figure it out because no one has the answer. I've seriously asked people. They're like, they laugh, and I go, no, but seriously, yeah, it's funny because he used to listen to football games on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very confusing because they'd be going, the Rough Riders have it at the 5-yard line. Bad news for the Rough Riders. If the Rough Riders get it here, the Rough Riders are in big trouble. You go, what the? What's going on?
So SNL Weekend Update, you were tremendous, and so much of it was not only your delivery but also your fearlessness, and it's one of the greatest jokes ever. I encourage everybody to go look it up. Norm was talking about Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson, and he said they've split up, citing irreconcilable differences. She's more of a stay-at-home mom. He's more of a homosexual pedophile.
Oh, that's a terrible thing to say.
You were fearless. Like, did you have any?
I remember Lauren saying, you better, if you don't want to be sued by Michael Jackson. And I go, no, but secretly I did. I was like, oh my God, that'd be the coolest thing ever. It'd be like, and now Michael Jackson versus Norm. I'd be like, oh my God, this is, cool. How could that not be good for your career?
But Don Ohlmeyer, because he was buddies.
Don Ohlmeyer was for the folks at home.
Right.
Was the executive in charge of entertainment for the entire network of NBC.
And only because you were making scathing, hysterical jokes at O.J. Simpson's expense, who's now back in the news because this show was a huge hit.
He's back in the news.
Well, the show, I should say, his name is back in the news. Like the Emmys, Sarah Paulson won, the show won.
What show? Oh,
People versus O.J. Simpson.
Right.
And then the O.J. documentary, 30 for 30,
yes,
which is on ESPN. And I think you should get more praise for the fact you were attacking him, rightfully so. And just because Ohlmeyer was buddies with him, was like, hey, you can't touch O.J. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like
yeah, why wasn't I in that movie?
Oh, the 30 for 30. That's true, actually.
Or the 30 for 30. Yeah, they could have put that on. Or the drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People versus.
They could have had like Jay Moore going, hey, what's going on?
Could have had.
Hey, Lisa Marie Presley. That hilarious impression.
David Letterman needed a Bette Midler moment that final week, and he got it from you.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Because and it was so great. I watched it again.
Not that I meant to cry. No, I didn't mean that, but I wanted to do one of his jokes. That was my idea.
It was awesome. It was amazing what you did. You went on, you were stand-up. It was the final week of Dave's show, and you said growing up in, I love this, by the way, you said growing up in Toronto, Canada. Nobody ever says Toronto, Ontario.
Yes.
They like to make it very plain.
They do.
Toronto, Canada.
They do, yeah.
And you said there's a joke that Dave used to tell. You tell it. You know the joke.
It was on a show called 90 Minutes Live, hosted by Peter Zosky. And the guests were Ricky Jay and David Letterman. And I was in the audience, a young teenager. And his joke was, I was driving down the street the other day, and in front of me was a garbage truck. And on the back of the garbage truck was a tiny sign that said, "Please do not follow too closely." One of life's simple pleasures, ruined by a meddling bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the old days when Dad used to pile the kids into the station wagon and we'd go out and follow a garbage truck?
You then turned to Dave and you said, we know Mr. Letterman does not like the mawkish or the sentimental, but if something is true, then it is not that. And Dave, I love you.
Yes, that I didn't mean to say those exact words. I certainly didn't mean to say I love you. But yeah, that was I just thought at that moment after the joke I should say something because everybody was being so cool about it before that. And like you say, there was no Bette Midler moment. There was no one saying, "We'll miss you" or anything like that. Everybody was just trying to be cool, you know?
Yeah.
And he was a very important person to me, David Letterman.
Because he defended you when Ohlmeyer.
Well, no, but more than that, I think he changed the entire culture. He changed how people speak, you know? Almost like ESPN changed the way that people speak about sports. And, you know, maybe David Letterman is responsible for ESPN.
No, there's no doubt. He was a huge influence. Dave used to come here because he's such an auto racing nut. He'd come here and watch the F1 races and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
They would let him in the back, and he would just go and set up.
Oh, you mean because there were
they didn't have that capability like in the early 90s.
Capability,
Right, Formula One race or something. He's like, oh, I'll just go to ESPN and come in here. I'm like, oh, there's Dave. Just
That's what I would do for football back when because of course there was no dish or anything like that. And in New York, all you could watch was a Jets game in the morning and a Giants game in the afternoon, and they both sucked. They were horrible.
Right.
And there were all these great games going on. So I would go to NBC and watch the feed. There'd be every game.
Right.
And then I'd pretend to be an announcer. I'd turn off I still do that when my son lets me. He hates when I do that. But I switch, like on DirecTV, and I go, now let's go,
Right. Well, you got Red Zone now. You can just watch one channel.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't do. I do my own Red Zone.
Oh, so you like to do it.
And at this time, I'd like to welcome to the bandstand the great Jackie Byard.
The book is called Based on a True Story.
What book is that?
This is your book.
Oh, yes, my book. I wrote a
can't wait
book
to read this.
based on a true story, a memoir by NORM MACDONALD.
It's going to be a huge hit. I can't wait.
Right, John?
There's Jennifer's here. Yeah, there's stories about Ohlmeyer. There's
Yes.
stories. We have a story. A buddy here, Daniel. Him and his wife wanted to watch Dirty Work together, so he DVR'd it, and they put it on, and it was not the film Dirty Work that you made.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah,
It was
a documentary.
No, it was an HBO film's softcore, I think, is the category.
It was a porn. One time in my hotel room, when before the computer and everything, right. The only time I'd ever see pornography was in a hotel, and sometimes they'd have the weirdest one. They'd have soft core pornography. You know what I mean? And this actually happened. I was looking around, and there was Pulp Fiction was on.
Oh, I love Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was Pump Friction.
No, Pulp Friction, maybe. Yeah. Pump Friction. That's like if you want to watch
geez.
Saving Private Ryan, you'd get Saving Ryan's Privates.
Not as good a film at all. Way less. It's just basically a futon and a lady.
Doesn't have Spielberg's directorial mastery.
Yeah, nothing.
First 10 minutes.
No sweeping. No sweeping crane shots.
Right.
Just a lot of close-ups of what looks like it should be on a medical channel of some sort.
Based on a true story, a memoir by Norm.
Based on a true story.
Go out and check it out.
Memoir by Norm MACDONALD.
I thank you so much for coming, Norm. I know you're making a comeback.
Are we done?
Well, do you want to keep going?
They told me it was an hour.
No, is it? Okay, we'll keep going. No, he's giving me the wave here.
I
would
we're done.
Keep going.
Good Lord, I had no idea. Well, I think we should have something to wrap it up.
Sure. Well, tell me a great anecdote from the book that's something that can really sell it.
I'm trying to think of a sports joke.
Well, you've made a few.
Well, I'll tell you this. You want to know why?
Best
this
OJ joke.
This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
Okay, fair.
But I used to be a very heavy sports gambler.
Well, now you're prognosticating on the Levitard show. I
am prognosticating on the Levitard show. Yes, I'm. What am I? 7-3 for the year.
That's awesome, man.
That make money. That pay the juice well, And 7-3. Now listen to this. Professional football is the hardest sport to prognosticate. Baseball is the easiest. Now, why is what?
Well, baseball's the easiest because the starting pitcher, you just go.
No, baseball is the easiest because baseball is a game of streaks.
Okay, gotcha.
You think of Kirk Gibson hitting that home run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against the much better team.
Oakland A's, yep.
What game did he hit that home run in?
Hit it in game one.
Game one. He won the series in game one.
That's true.
So it shows you the power of the streak.
Right.
The Boston Red Sox, down 3.
To the Yankees, yep.
They win 4 in a row. And then what happens?
And they win the World Series.
They win another 4 in a row, right? Because of the streak, the power of the streak.
Yeah.
So you hit a team when it's on a good streak or a bad streak, and you just stay on them.
All right.
Stay on them. The reason professional football is so hard to bet is because the ball ain't round. Every other sport almost, the ball is round. A round golf ball in a round hole. You throw a round basketball into a round hoop. But a football is this odd shape. So if there's a fumble, that's anywhere, man.
Right.
And then there's this odd thing that's certainly against the rules. 30 guys jump on the football. Now, someone has that football at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's being touched, so that should be his possession.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he's being punched in the testicles, and his eyes are being gouged out, and someone grabs the football, someone else grabs the football, and finally they tear off the guy, and they go, look, the big giant guy has the football. What a coincidence. So,
there you have it. That's why football is so tough.
So don't bet football because the ball ain't round.
Thanks so much, Norm. I appreciate it.
All right. This was a beautiful, Adnan. Love you.
He passed away, I believe, the day before Yom Kippur. And the Yom Kippur services started, and I'd been watching a bunch of old Norm MacDonald videos. And as the rabbi began to speak, I started remembering Norm MacDonald punchlines, and it really went poorly for me that Yom Kippur evening.
Finally, folks, next week, Jews everywhere will be celebrating the holiday of Yom Kippur, or as non-Jews refer to it, Wednesday.
The rabbi was standing maybe 15 feet in front of me, and I was just struggling not to hysterically laugh in the middle of the most solemn day of the year. So that's going to be my Norm MacDonald memory going forward.
My family comes from Russia. They're Russian Jews.
Oh. Russian at Jews is more like it. One of the biggest anti-Semites I've ever met.
Russian away from Jews.
I had a bar mitzvah.
What?
I had a bar mitzvah, Norm.
Yeah. You did?
Yeah.
Wait, are you Jewish?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. I love the Jewish people.
Yeah. Last week on Larry King Live, Marlon Brando made the shocking statement that Hollywood is, quote, run by Jews. In response, outraged Jewish organizations made it snow in New York in April. Well, earlier this week, actor Marlon Brando met with Jewish leaders to apologize for comments he made on Larry King Live. Among them, that, quote, Hollywood is run by Jews. The Jewish leaders accepted the actor's apology and announced that Brando is now free to work again. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University, Simpson had defended actor Marlon Brando's criticism of Hollywood Jews. Later, from his island hideaway, Brando sent O.J. a telegram which read, "You're not helping." In Cincinnati, is Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott an anti-Semite? Well, it is beginning to look that way. According to a report out today, on the entire Cincinnati Reds team, there is not one Jewish player. A group of Orthodox rabbis declared that other branches of Judaism are, quote, not Judaism at all, thus challenging the religious status of millions of American Jews. This week, that statement was rejected by Reform leader Rabbi Don Schonstein, who said, quote, our legitimacy as Jews flows from the richness of our Jewish lives, the strength of our Jewish communities, and most important of all, our deep and abiding belief in Jesus Christ.
Baby, won't you come by? Everything's better with you by my side. A movie and dinner tonight. Pour a couple drinks and yeah, we're feeling fine. And make them.
The setup of the joke is it's a Jew joke.
Okay.
Two Gentile businessmen meet on the street. One of them says, how's business? The other one says, great. See, he gets it. He really got it. He really liked it.
Yeah.
So the joke is about who doesn't get it. He's Jewish, he gets it.
Yeah.
You're not, you don't.
But I don't believe he got it.
Oh, yeah, he got it. He got it.
Can we find out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Norm why that's funny.
Because it's two Jews and how's business? Great.
Well, that's just what he said.
No, it's two Gentile businessmen.
Oh, yeah, I don't
That's
get the
what's
joke.
funny about it.
I knew he didn't get it. I can spot fake laughter.
But what's interesting was at my Comedy Central roast that John Stamos was the roast master, and all of the comedians, and that's where beloved Norm MacDonald did his very memorable non-roasty tribute of doing.
No, he was reading joke from a joke book.
He said, "Saget, I'm going to do jokes from the '40s." And I went, "I don't know." I said, "Say fuck once." I don't want to do that. I don't want to make fun of you. You're my friend. And I went. I got roasted on Comedy Central. I'm going to go all over the place because I can't. I don't know what else to do. This is me just saying I love Norm. When I got roasted, I talked to him a week before the roast, and he called me and he said, Saget, I can't, this is a bad impression. I can't help but do it, though. Saget, I can't say mean things about you. You're my friend. I don't even want to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's you. And so at the roast, he called me a week out, said, I'm just going to read jokes from a 40s joke book. And I said, Norm, that's fine. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you got to curse. I don't want to do that. I said, well, if just throw in an arbitrary fuck now and then. Nah, I'm not going to do that. And then you get to the roast, and okay, so what you see usually with the extended cut, which is not what it is, it's just everything about Norm is the big lie.
Bob, you have a lot of well-wishers here tonight, and a lot of them would like to throw you down one, a well. They want to murder you in a well. Seems a little harsh, but apparently they want to murder you in a well. It says here on this card.
There's a 20-minute version. There's 20 minutes of footage where the people that were there know what happened in the room. Half of them did and half of them didn't because they didn't know what was going on because they didn't get it. But he was just taking the shot at doing, and people are like, this was the most brilliant thing, and it was. But a great stand-up, and Norm was one of the greatest ever, knows that they're not going to, bombing is not, doesn't matter. And that's what was fearless and beautiful about him, because bombing is just part of the art, part of the performance of it. And if you can offend people and get laughs, then you're in some kind of real special ethos.
No, I think that Bob should join the Ku Klux Klan. And that's not because he's racist. He's not racist. It's just that he'd look a lot better with a hood over his head on account of his face.
He was doing that by reading these jokes, and then there were about 8 minutes that it was quiet, and that made you don't see the comedians laughing harder, but all of my friends. That's the idea of that roast, was as horrible as some of the things that were said, because it's a roast, and it was a different time. But Norm, of course, chose the path of dignity, and did jokes, and we were laughing on the phone the week before that he would hold the cards up to his head and do Johnny, to the face like a cauliflower.
No, but Bob has a beautiful face like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower.
But we were doing all that stuff because he idolized Johnny, as all of us did. And so they cut out the part that was bombing, and but it did. I would have loved to have seen the whole damn thing. I think the roast should have just been a bunch of people doing a bunch of horrible dick jokes and wow, some really wrong stuff on there, right? But it was funny for a lot of people. It's really split how you look at stuff from years ago, and people know what funny is. And Norm did the most brilliant thing, and I was so excited when he said, I said, you got a fucking dog face. And that if you look at the thing, I don't like looking at myself, and who does? But I like looking at me. But when he said that, that's when I was like, yeah, come on, start cursing. Just throw in arbitrary curses, because at that point he was digging out of a hole. That's what he was doing. But
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a pro.
apart by you.
How fucking brilliant. Because it was so anti-roast. Because he didn't want to roast his friend. And he also didn't want to do a roast. So there's, it was a good toss-up whether he was doing it because he didn't want to hurt his friend, and also he didn't want to do a roast. He didn't love the form. He didn't mind listening to the old ones, but he wasn't equipped mentally or care enough to make fun of someone. It just, it seemed like okay, that's the joke. Making fun of somebody. Oh, great format. So, of course, he's reading the sports section while the other comedians are doing their stuff, and it's just, it's brilliance. It's an Andy Kaufman type thing, or anybody who knows what comedy is and doing some kind of, it's just Norm. It's just Norm. It's what he found funny.
Bob Saget directed Norm MacDonald's movie Dirty Work. Yeah. A move that transformed Norm MacDonald into a star, Buck's employee.
And then at the end, and I thought about, do I play it on here right now? And the answer is no. You can watch it. You can see it. I mean, at the end of the thing, he got emotional, and he doesn't mean to do it. He doesn't know what he's going to say, and he doesn't do it that often.
Bob, honestly, has never had an unkind word for anybody, and I love him, and I hope everybody else does, so I just want to say that. Thank you.
He told me, he loved me, and he told me publicly, and I loved him, and I love him.
But I wonder if people, like you say, you don't like people who are not hardworking. I wonder, are there people who worked as hard as Steve did and does?
I was thinking when I said it that there's an exception. I know we're both admirers of Norm MacDonald, and he seems sometimes like someone who has something. It's his cadence. It's the way he talks. I don't know if he's a hardworking comic, but God, he makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. And his cadence, something is just wrong about it,
But I love Norm, and my guess is, what I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, "Hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap." Who else could do that?
Right.
And he doesn't. And if it got nothing, he would stare.
Yeah.
And tell you your problem. Yeah. I thought that was one of the best. Dark but fantastic,
right.
and also no one could do it but him.
No, that's what I was going to say. I would, if somebody had pitched that joke to me at the height of the OJ trial, I would have laughed and not done it. Would you have done that joke?
No, I would not have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been queasy and it's tragedy and it was theater of some kind. Yeah. Theater of the absurd.
But the delivery, the persona, and the material, it's
perfect.
Powerful. Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of entertaining celebrities, but Norm MacDonald used to come on our show in the early days, and those were, I thought, great television because we never knew it was happening, and it was always teetering on the edge of it was all about to blow up. It's all about to fail, and it would always end brilliantly. And then he stopped coming around, and it was just a period that passed. And I was always sad about that because I thought we're a very celebrity-conscious age, and people always think that the best guests are the biggest celebrities. Sometimes, the best guests are these, people that you have a weird connection with, and it's compelling television. People see and they talk to me about it later on. Like I'll be out in the world walking around and people will say, I saw that when you were with Harlan or when you were with Norm or with Ron. That really got wild and crazy in a way that they don't see on television now.
Have you, over the years, who are some of the people who have been your go-to people? That I just remember Dave in his early years had Terry Garr and he had Sandra Bernhard.
Yes.
And they were kind of magic together. Who are your...
I had so many people. Norm MacDonald was this person who would come... you all know Norm MacDonald, but Norm MacDonald, when we'd have him on in the early days, to this day, I've never interviewed anybody like Norm MacDonald.
Who was the best guest that you've ever interviewed, and who was the worst?
I love Will Ferrell. I also love Norm MacDonald because he comes on and his stories are all invented. None of them are real. They're all old farmers' daughters jokes. And he pretends he'll come on. I'll say, "What's up, Norm?" He'd be like, the other day I was walking down the road and a pirate comes up. I'm like, "What?" Yeah, a pirate comes along and he's got 3 pigs with him. One of them is wearing a hat, one's got a pipe, and then it's just a complete waste of everybody's time that's absolutely delightful and hilarious. And so I love him.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm MacDonald.
Yes.
This might go off the rails really fast.
Norm
Guys.
MacDonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that Norm MacDonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, "Hey, Bill, tell me, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once," and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Norm, what are you up to?" And I mean, really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, "Well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan." I'd be like, "Really? You purchased Yeah, I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters." And I'm like, "You have 3 daughters?" "Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly." And I'd be like, "Well, one day this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you," and then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes. We call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually where we could just queue it up on command?
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw you saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, "Oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith." And I'll think, that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now. Like, how is that possible?
This man began his television stand-up debut with us 25 years ago.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Very talented actor. Nobody funnier. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm MacDonald.
Do you watch your own show?
No, sir.
Well, you have. I've talked to people, I've watched it, and I've talked to other people who find it compelling. You can't take your eyes off. So
well,
there,
imagine if
whatever
you were
it is you're making up, whatever qualities you're fabricating here, you yourself possess them.
But imagine if you were doing it. And
well, imagine if you were doing it.
Well,
we always worry a little about you because we regard you as the top of the heap, the best of the best, the funniest of the funny, the guy who has it in every fiber of his being, not conjured. It's the real thing. So you do it.
I just want to write. I just want to write books. But but I'd like to watch you with a big desk.
I'm tired of talking, Mark.
Okay, now it's going to turn into Norm show.
So you're the one who saw that.
I had to watch it.
I love Norm. God, geez. I don't know what happened to that show. I remember saying to Ted Sarandos, after all of Norm's shows had been produced, I said, boy, I think you guys really got something here. Apparently not. But I loved it. The element that I always admired was the connection to the audience. And his asides and his looks and his pauses were interpreted exactly the way he knew they would be interpreted. Mm-hmm. And that fueled the ridiculous nature of some of the presentation. And without that audience, you don't get the full measure of Norm.
Right.
It was like the audience was his partner. Everybody was in this together. I can remember reading his autobiography and enjoying it, but being greatly disappointed about 10 pages in when I realized it was all fantasy. I want to know about Norm's life, but this was other solar system.
Something in him that's unbelievably fearless.
What you're describing there, when I would watch those segments, they were delightful. There was something more exciting and interesting about the silence and Norm's joy at having landed the dud.
And holding his smile.
It was thrilling. It was heroic.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
But I wonder if people, like you say, you don't like people who are not hardworking. I wonder, are there people who worked as hard as Steve did and does?
I was thinking when I said it that there's an exception. I know we're both admirers of Norm MacDonald, and he seems sometimes like someone who has something. It's his cadence. It's the way he talks. I don't know if he's a hardworking comic, but God, he makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. And his cadence, something is just wrong about it, you know?
But I love Norm, and my guess is, what I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap. Who else could do that?
Right.
And he doesn't. And if it got nothing, he would stare.
Yeah.
And tell you your problem. I thought that was one of the best. I mean, dark but fantastic, and also no one could do it but him.
No, that's what I was going to say. I would, if somebody had pitched that joke to me at the height of the O.J. trial, I would have laughed and not done it. Would you have done that joke?
No, I would not have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been queasy and, it's tragedy. And it was theater of some kind, theater of the absurd.
But the delivery, the persona, and the material, it's
perfect.
Powerful, yes.
In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
What's the hardest drug that Norm MacDonald's done?
I guess love.
Where did you go?
I had to go powder my nose.
Oh, man. I've never seen a guest do that before.
I had to go.
You ran away during the commercial break.
I ran away, I freshened up, I powdered my nose.
Freshened up?
And then I took a piss in the sink.
All right. Why? Why do I ask? It's my fault.
You go to, you start doing comedy, and, what is interesting to me is we hear about this.
Cocaine is not working.
I'm from the time, let me tell you something, Jay. I'm from the time, I remember when pot was something you cooked your eggs in. Yes. I remember when hash was something you were made out of corned beef. Yeah, exactly. I remember when acid was something you threw in a guy's face when he made a pass at your wife.
Exactly. Where are those days? Yeah, exactly.
I remember ecstasy when it was just the feeling you had when you threw that vile acid in the guy's face.
So wouldn't you love to ask Dole, like when he was doing the commercial for what they now call erectile dysfunction?
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you feel when you sit down and do that kind of a commercial? I mean, it's got to be a little embarrassing,
I don't feel that an old man should have erectile function.
No, just thinking, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And, you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be, got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that, in some corners, is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, it's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is,
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
After he talks about you doing sit-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack. And, of course, it was very inspiring to see President Clinton up here on crutches making a speech. I mean, I thought that was just amazing, you know. I mean, it's been difficult for the president. You know, he can't jog now, and he needs help getting around, and he's still, you know, occasionally suffers great pain, you know. On the upside, you got your medical marijuana, so that's, you know. You must inhale, sir. It's the only way you're going to get better. It's... I want to apologize for running out earlier. I don't know if anybody saw that. But, you know, these things happen in live TV, and it reminds me actually of a maxim that Christopher Plummer told me many years ago. He said, before a live awards ceremony, do not eat a fistful of LSD. Take that with you.
Is it really my fault? 'Cause you try to hit me with your pity till I can't trace, but I still push on. Got me changing my ways, trying to fix it. Poison my...
I assume anyone smiling is on meth. Veterinarians in Colorado have reported that marijuana use is on the rise amongst dogs. They say you'll know if your dog is too high if it starts making a really tall sandwich.
They like sweets better when they're high.
Yes, I don't know.
In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday.
Whatever.
The street drug Special K has been found to be an excellent treatment for depression. This according to the New England Journal of Gary Busey.
You know, dogs and humans love to run because it apparently gives them a natural high similar to that of marijuana, according to the University of Arizona. Wow. After running what are called cannabinoids, the chemical found in marijuana that gives you a feeling of euphoria, are higher in humans and dogs, and this encourages them to run again. To 7-Eleven for a Slurpee. A Papa John's delivery man has been arrested for allegedly selling more than $40,000 in cocaine hidden in pizza boxes.
Jesus.
To undercover police officers. This raises an important question. Where is all that pizza that was supposed to go in those boxes? Can I have them to eat? I'm a big fat guy.
A Florida University student was caught streaking on campus and apparently told police he was on acid and asked them to cut his dick off. Boy, these kids today are crazy. In my day, we didn't need drugs. We would just cut our own dicks off.
Yeah, you didn't need no fucking acid and shit. When did you gain the weight?
Well, I fluctuated a lot throughout my life. But
how did you gain it?
Eating and not exercising.
Would that be your natural weight, or do you have to fight that all the time?
Well, yeah, I think I have to fight it to a degree. Yeah.
And how did you lose the weight?
Cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine. Mostly, yeah, cocaine and other drugs, and very, very serious depression.
That helps me a lot, Dr. Oz.
Is that what I think it is?
I don't know. Do you think it's cocaine?
Yep.
Well, you're partly right. It's cocaine, and it's also a lot of baby laxative. So you might... A
couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be
careful, because it burns like hell when the...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Earlier today, the biggest auction ever of Beatles memorabilia took place in Tokyo. Among the one-of-a-kind items on the block were Paul McCartney's birth certificate, a white Mercedes-Benz owned by John Lennon, and rarest of all, a photo of George Harrison not looking haggard. Have you ever seen one when you think about it? In a recent interview, Paul McCartney confessed that Bob Dylan turned the Beatles on to marijuana. In return, George Harrison turned Dylan on to looking old and haggard.
I've never seen a picture of George Harrison not haggard.
He's somewhere, he's be-haggard. He's like beleaguered and haggard. Like he's haggard with a beleaguered
Be-haggard?
thought. Yeah.
I prefer the Indian casinos. That's what I like, you know, because I don't want to give my money. If I'm going to lose money, and I'm going to lose money, I don't want to do it in Las Vegas to a bunch of corporate businessmen. I would rather go to an Indian casino and lose it to the Native Americans, you know, on account of my forefathers systematically murdered them years ago. Which, looking back on it, way out of line. Way out of line. Anyways, I look at it as a form of reparations, you know? And I tell you, I've done my part, goddammit. Probably done your part, too. Anyways, I love casino.
Melissa McCarthy is Norm MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you, but I am sorry I cannot, in good conscience, accept this award on behalf of Melissa McCarthy. I instead have chosen to give my time to a friend who has something very important to say.
My name is Johnny Two Feathers. While you enjoy tonight's show, I want you to think about something. The spot where you're sitting, every square foot of ground in this country was stolen from my ancestors. And after you stole it, you murdered them. So you'll forgive us if we do not laugh along. There is nothing funny about the extermination of a people. The theater stinks of blood. That's all I have to say. Oh.
Johnny Two Feathers, everybody. Johnny Two Feathers. Give him a wave, Johnny. Johnny, you don't want to wave? All right. Well, Johnny Two Feathers, everybody.
Probably just like masturbating in a dark room.
Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. Native Americans in upstate New York are trying to block plans to build a Kmart on the site of a Mohican burial ground. In addition, they were upset to learn that sales at this particular Kmart will be announced, "Attention Kmart Savages." In Michigan, State Historical Commission officials say they will not interfere with the building of a new major sports stadium, even if construction unearths historical artifacts. However, state Indian Affairs officials say that if relics from a Native American tribe are found, they would like to have the land set aside and designated as a sacred tribal burial ground / giant casino. In Wisconsin, students at Menominee High School are desperately fighting efforts by the politically correct to change their team nickname the Indians. Already, opponents of the name have rejected the students' first compromise, the Drunken Indians. They feel that's almost worse in a way, you know? In Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Staticoti Indian tribe is seeking recognition by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in order to open either a manufacturing company or a casino. I wonder which one they'll choose. Manufacturing company or the casino. In Norwich, Connecticut, a local museum has made a long overdue effort at racial reconciliation by returning 21 ancient tribal artifacts to the Mohegan Indians. But as for everything else in the country, we'll be keeping that. It's good news, really. We don't have to give any of it back.
It's like the difference between the Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins. I can see where Redskin might upset somebody just a little. I don't think you're ever going to get it changed, but at least it is a bit denigrating. But Indians, isn't that? Yeah, I never understand that.
You don't understand that?
No.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Or Braves.
I have no formal education, and as a matter of fact, I don't have any informal education. It's not like I'm hanging out with professors on the weekend, right?
Yes.
But this is the way I understand it. Old Chris Columbus, he sailed over here, and then he got here, and he thought it was India.
Jesus, what a dolt. And that's the source of us all.
Yeah, so he goes, hey, man, look at all those Indians.
All right. Oh, that's it.
And then one of his buddies goes, hey, man, we took a wrong turn at the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This is America. and then he goes, hey, you Indians better get the hell out of here. You're not even in the right country.
Well, once you're about to take a country from somebody, you cannot refer to them as Native Americans. It only makes your task harder. They will fight harder because you've already told them you assume that it is their property. But my feeling is at some point there were an ice people, a horde of almost Piltdown men-like creatures who the Indians or whatever, the Native Americans came in and took this from. Isn't that the way of the world, Norm? That eventually everybody takes something.
What's a Piltdown, man? You talking about the old days?
I'm sorry to throw you off the scent of the conversation. I'm talking about in Paleolithic times. I assume that the Native Americans were not native here either, but came down and took this from somebody else. That's just the way of the world.
Yeah, everybody takes everything. Listen, Mother Nature is a brutal bitch. A red-clawed,
paint the picture.
Machine that eats and
shrieking harridan.
Yeah.
Little one, you've been away so long, and I need you now more than forever.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember?
It was a Russian girl. And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide.
In Russia? Only about 70 years ago.
Against the Russian people.
Who still lives?
But me. That's not
You first. Check it back. No, it was Holocaust. It wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are fives in a case.
Dave's getting more.
Right, well, because they're the only ones that live.
Well, the only true genocide was the.
Well, Sam, another one this way, Sam.
That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No,
it doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive
no,
is?
The genocide.
Yeah, the motive is to just hatred of a race to exterminate them without a political or economic agenda.
Well, we did with the
Indians. Well, it's not justifiable.
No, well, who's saying it's justified?
I said it's well.
You got to bury them.
I'm just wondering how it's justified.
You've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane.
I was in Montreal
at that restaurant.
Yeah.
Cochon de whatever, something de cochon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Like
A pig.
Yeah, the pied de cochon.
Yeah.
Right. They make their own head cheese. And I'm like, really? Why would anyone? I thought that was garbage meat. But no, they're making it right out of the head. You can order a whole pig's head there.
You can?
You can eat for two.
Yeah. I was in Cambodia once. I ate a brain. It was brain.
Really?
Yeah, mine was stupid. Now,
Zuckerberg says he's only eating his own meat that he kills now. Have you read that?
With his bare hands.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg?
The kid's a monster.
He tries to do one thing to alter his modern lifestyle every year. And this year he says he's only going to eat meat that he's actually killed. And I was wondering, what are you adhering to
I'm a
lately?
vegetarian, a strict vegetarian.
No, have you done that?
Well, I eat chicken.
Well, it's not all that
That's not vegetarian.
I'm not. I said I'm not strict. I eat chicken and
steaks
beef.
and
Pork. Ate raw game. Did you ever eat? It's not dead yet.
No, you're
and
over
you
that.
eat it, and as you're eating it, their death throes are making you hungrier.
There's nothing.
That's better than a soybean.
Yeah, you're right.
Which sounds better, that or soybean?
Listen, some of the best meals I've had is that Mongolian thing over at Dahmer's on Wednesday night. Literally, we ate a Mongolian.
Did I tell you I ate a live fish in real life?
No.
Yeah, I was at a sushi restaurant, and the guy's like Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go, I eat just sashimi, like raw fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat with rice or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like trying to impress him. So he goes, you eat live fish? I go, yeah. Even though I don't. And he goes,
never think he's going to call you on it.
Yeah, and I go, plus it sounds kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I get you live fish. I go, thanks, man. Like I was an inside guy, and then he brought out a fish and hit it and knocked it out and put it on a stick. It was live. And that clears out a sushi bar. A lot of people, the girl I was in was barfing in a bathroom. And the only people interested was the guy, the Japanese sociopath guy. And all the Mexican help, they were all like looking like I'd eat it. And so I had to cut it. And then they leave the fish that's on the skeleton that looks like the one Sylvester found on a garbage thing.
Mm-hmm.
To move. It's moving and like a dead bobblehead, and you had to put water in its mouth to keep it alive so you could watch it die as you ate. It was a nice meal.
Norm MacDonald said he used to, when he would hit on girls, he pretended he was drunk so he could act like an asshole. Because then they then they can't get mad because you're drunk. So if you do something inappropriate, they're like, well, he's a drunk guy. You got any more stories?
You guys see the Gilbert Gottfried when
I didn't see that documentary. No.
No. When Norm's there's some roast and Norm goes up and he just bombs on purpose.
Yeah.
And he goes, Gilbert Gottfried, if you see during this as a gentleman, go ahead and enter. I get fairly.
He goes, Cloris Leachman. They say she's over the hill, not in the car I saw her driving.
He said it in the roast?
Yeah.
That is
a
good one.
The whole crowd's like this. It's so funny.
He's bombing and he never cracked. He never cracked.
And he goes, Greg Giraldo, your eyes like a hawk. Something like a sparrow. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is for the birds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Norton said something like, he goes, watching.
It's so great.
Norton says something like, watching Norm do this is like watching Peter or Henry Fonda pick grapes. And Norm goes, that sounds very interesting. He didn't even fight back on that one when he was insulted.
Oh, God.
No, but you got to have balls to do that, right?
Oh.
To bomb on
Just
TV
commit to it.
in front of everybody.
It's committed.
And like he said, he didn't fucking wink.
Yeah, but where do you think you get that from? Being Canadian?
Norm, he's just like that. No, Canadians
but
aren't like that.
To bomb on TV?
Yeah.
He was doing it for the other comics. He was doing it for them. He wasn't.
No, but they weren't even laughing because they were the jokes
dying.
were so bad. That was not. They would cut to the comics and they were just looking. I mean, they were laughing, but not like. It was still like an awkward laugh.
I think.
I say you can't teach somebody that.
And then Howard Stern goes the next day. I didn't really think it was that funny. And And Artie goes, do you know the balls it took? Howard goes, why does it take balls? And Artie goes, because it is like you wouldn't get it. And he did it anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
no.
It's true. It's true. You got it. Everyone's gonna take it the wrong way.
Those 9 people in the back of the room that are just side splitting.
Yeah, but even them, even when they
took balls,
even when they cut to other comics, the comics were still like, "What is he doing?" You know,
Yeah,
they thought he was setting up something, but he never set up anything. There was no punchline.
He just hit him with zinger
He
after
just kept
zinger.
doing like bad. It was something that you would write.
Susie Essman thinks she's says she's a vegetarian. I don't know if when I see it tonight, she's full of baloney.
I mean, you can't. You got to be born with that. You can't do that.
God.
Nobody can do that.
No, Norm is the only one who
You
can do
can't
it.
have balls like
Norm's
that.
the
People
only
said-
guy that could make it that funny, too.
Yeah,
Just-
people said Letterman had balls. Letterman didn't have any balls
No.
compared. I mean, to do it on TV, he would like take chances,
Yeah.
but that's in a studio.
No.
This is bombing in front of your peers, and
literally strutted up there like he had all the fucking holding all the cards. And that he
Like-
committed to, just like I got this fucking his joke like he's on a 1971 fucking
And no
roast.
cards or anything. Just
because you think he's
imagine
setting
over the
something
hill,
up. You think he's setting up
Cloris
some
Leachman.
big thing.
Yeah.
Says she's over the hill. Not in the car I saw her driving.
They weren't even good puns. I mean, they were good puns in the
just
sense of like
genius. It's
how
just-
you, when
you
you
can't
go,
touch
what
it.
am I gonna? How do you write a bad pun? It's not
But
that
how about
simple.
the fact that instead of just going, he's for the birds, he goes, this, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is for the birds.
He throws up like 3 types of birds. Like, he takes his
But he
time.
goes, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
like, I finally figured out what the fucking problem. It was so.
Who was that for Geraldo?
Yeah.
Were you there?
No.
You just
I
saw
watched
it.
it and I go, holy fuck. I knew immediately because I know him. He does that shit, he's so funny.
No, but Bob has a beautiful face like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower. No, there are times when Bob has something on his mind when he wears a hat. But no thoughts at all, just a hat. Bob, you have a lot of well-wishers here tonight, and a lot of them would like to throw you down one, a well. They want to murder you in a well. Seems a little harsh, but apparently they want to murder you in a well. It says here on this card. And Bob is not very worldly. He thinks the English Channel is a British TV station and not a body of water separating England and France. And Bob isn't the biggest sports fan. I don't think I'm telling any tales out of school. I took him to a ball game, and he came toting a double-barreled shotgun. You remember that? I said, what the H is that for? Bob said, I heard the Lions were playing the Tigers. You remember that?
Yeah.
Norm MacDonald, God bless you. Watching your set was like watching Henry Fonda pick blueberries.
Why, I don't think there's a person in here that would not love to watch Henry Fonda pick blueberries.
Yeah. Like his other thing that he does is he'll just fucking flip it on you. He does it all the time. It's so funny. We'll be like, what? You're saying you want, you're homophobic? He's like, no, I was saying this guy's homophobic. What? You have a problem with, like, you just twist me, and it's great with, like, politically correct type people.
Yeah.
He flips it on them.
No, he did that to me when I worked on his sports show.
Oh, yeah, you know him well, yeah.
I gave him a ride. Then I was staying at Neil's house. Then they're like 2 blocks away in Santa Monica. So Norm goes, it's Friday night. We have off Saturday. Norm goes, you want to come up? I go, no. I go, because I think he's tricking me. Because if I say yeah, then I'm gay.
Yeah.
So I go, no, I don't want to come up. So I go up. He eventually talks me into going up. It's awkward. So then I leave. Then when we go back to work, he goes, yeah. Then Brennan drops me up. He goes, can I come up? I'm like, what do you want to come up for? He goes, I want to see your apartment. I go, the guy must be queer. Like he goes to the whole thing. He's like the boss. He's my boss, so I have to let him tell the story. You know? I can't interrupt him.
So funny. Yeah.
No, it's classic. I didn't know that was one of his
he's
classic
great
maneuvers.
at that kind of stuff.
You say you're homophobic.
No, he'll do it with anybody. I mean, you know. We went shopping one time when we were doing the movie in Boston, and then the guy's like, he goes, I need to buy jeans. He just walks in and just announces, I need to buy jeans. Like, it's a store full of jeans, but he acts like, you know, it's a fucking, whatever the jean store is. Yeah. And he acts like, I need jeans. And then the guy's like, well, sure. What size do you like? He goes, and so-and-so. He goes, all right, just go in the back of the boot. What? Go back there and you want me to take my pants off? Look at this guy. And he starts telling all the other customers, this guy just told me to go in the back and take my pants off. I just came here to buy clothes. This guy wants me to go in the back and just take your pants off. I'm in my underwear.
Was he was saying that with somebody there with him, or was just?
I was with him.
Oh,
the whole store's laughing, but it's like,
oh my
what?
God.
He just causes a fucking ruckus.
That's classic.
You know who Jonah Hill is?
Huh?
Do you know who Jonah Hill is?
Yeah, the actor, little fat kid.
Yeah. How about this for a joke?
He's a friend of Tatum O'Neal.
Good God, Channing
Jonah Hill says his heart is broken over the fact he was caught on camera calling a photographer a gay slur. And speaking of things that are broken, Jonah Hill's chair. A nice statement.
Yeah, it's more of a comment.
Imagine if you're with the porno lady, you're like, what about this? You like this? And she's like, yeah, my husband invented it. You're like, oh. Because you know how you think you got your own moves?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been with a porn star?
No, I never would do it because I wouldn't want to pull out my measly...
wiener?
Yeah. Because like, what's she going to pretend? She's like, oh, ouch. You're like, what? What about that thing I saw you in last week with that?
Is this a good surprise for you guys or a weird surprise to Norm?
I'm such a big fan of Norm's, man.
It's the first time you guys have met this morning, right?
Yeah. So
Jonah,
I'm so psyched. That's awesome.
When I knew you were coming in, I started thinking of the serious stuff, and I got to tell you about one thing. Superbad.
Yeah.
I'm 48 years old.
Yeah.
I go see Superbad, and the characters, your character and the other character, the main characters, are an amalgam of me and my best friend when we were in high school.
I hear that quite often.
I call the guy, and I go, you got to come to Austin. So he comes to Austin, and we go see it together and just laughed our asses off because of that was us. That was us in high school.
Oh, that's
that
so
whole
nice.
thing. So huge fan on that front now.
You look good for 48, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got a guy who looks like Bruce Springsteen. You got a guy who looks like he's 25 and he's 48.
How old do you think he is?
Good-looking bunch around here.
How old do you think he is?
Good-looking city.
How old do you think Bob is?
I would say 34.
Try 53.
Yeah, well, that's how old Bruce Springsteen is.
No, he's 60.
Yeah, he's 60. Why'd you pick 30?
Damn.
I'm darkness on the edge of town.
It's like he looks like Wilford Brimley. How old? 20-year-old Wilford Brimley?
4 or 5 years old?
You go way too much. What are you, one?
1 years old.
Now, Bob saw the movie last night.
Thank you for that compliment. I sincerely
Man, I'm
appreciate
telling
it.
you what,
Thank you.
that movie, and I said that's like, I don't buy, you rent movies, you don't buy. That's the one movie I've saved, and I watch it over and over.
That's cool, man. Thank you.
Bob saw the movie last night,
man.
and
I loved it.
And before you come in here,
you saw Get Him to the Greek last night.
Yeah, we would lie to you if it was. If
I wouldn't have come. I would have called in sick today if it.
Well, no. We would have told our listeners what we thought of it, like the first hour when you guys weren't up.
And
then we
wouldn't have known.
We would have lied and kissed your ass when you came in here. But he said
I don't want to give anything away about it either, because there's so many surprises in that movie.
Off the air this morning, I said, seriously, how was the movie? And I've seen the trailer. The trailer's hilarious. And he goes, but a lot of times the trailer's hilarious, the movie sucks ass.
Right.
He goes,
I think our movie's better than our trailer.
He goes, dude,
I hate.
It was laugh out loud funny.
I hate people that you compare movies, say it's like this, it's like, but it's like it's all the best stuff you would expect from a Jonah Hill movie with a little bit of Spinal Tap mixed in, and it reminded me a little bit of Almost Famous, the sweetness, the sweet parts of that, because you play a character that's like
Nick literally pitched it to me as like a dirty Almost Famous.
You're teetering. you're one of those characters teetering on boyhood and manhood, right?
Yeah.
Like responsibilities versus being this kind of rock. Fan, and I loved it on that level too, of just of your character, of just being this guy that just doesn't know he wants to commit. He doesn't. He's facing all these things for the first time, but it's hysterical. You're going to see things in this movie that you've never seen on film before. I got to look at the rock star.
Dagwood?
No, the rock star. Aldous.
Yeah,
there's really not an equivalent in real life.
Sounds good though. Is it in the theater?
There's really no single British.
Sorry, I wouldn't have had a chance.
There's not really any single like solo British rock stars like that anymore. Are there? Is he like
the closest
Bowie? But Bowie's old.
I'd say like Jack White.
Oh yeah, Jack White. I mean, the closest we were thinking was like, but he's not like a bad boy, but like Chris Martin. Like was like kind of the closest equivalent, you know?
But none of them behave like that.
No,
like in behavior,
like
it's more just.
But it's more like taking a '70s, '60s rock star and putting him kind of in.
Pete Doherty. That's who it is. I mean, that's really who we you know. And he's mega famous in England, obviously, and less so here.
So Nick, I'm IMDbing you, which is not a sexual term anymore, but you directed one of my favorite television shows that didn't make it, Undeclared.
I was a writer on that.
Oh, still.
Yeah.
What a great show. Were you on that show?
Was not, but a big fan of it.
Yeah, it was like a great. You knew it wasn't going to last because it was too good.
Well, we knew because we premiered on September 11th, so that's how we knew it wasn't going to last. Actually,
I
didn't know that really.
And Dale, you got to see that everybody's great in this film, but Sean Combs.
He steals it.
Oh my God! He blows up in this movie.
He's so funny. In it.
Unbelievable. And what you were doing the Q&A while the credits were. You started the Q&A while the credits were rolling. I know his face popped up at the end of the movie, and I missed it. Now I gotta go back and see what he said at the end.
It's a teaser for the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
For Thor.
Dude, you would love it.
Wait, so how old was Nick when he was directing Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared?
Or was
how old were you when you were writing for Undeclared?
For Undeclared, I was.
Well, Freaks and Geeks was first, right?
I know I didn't work on Freaks and Geeks.
Oh,
you were still in college.
We withdraw the question.
So how were you when you directed?
I was 24 when I was writing on.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So the story.
Like, remember when you were 24, what you thought was funny or good? You know what I mean? How hard it is to actually do good stuff when you're 24.
I remember Judd telling me what was funny. And good.
I thought
he would just tell you and you did it.
Norm, I thought you were funny when I was 24.
Oh no, you might think something's funny, but what you like I remember when I was starting comedy, I was like 25 or something like that. But Eddie Murphy was already a star, you know, and he was 19.
Yeah, 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can that guy be funny? Because I remember what I thought was funny when I was 19. It was all lame.
Anyway. On Undeclared, one of the writers was Seth Rogen. He was also obviously one of the stars of Undeclared, but he was 18. I remember him coming into the first writers meeting, and all of us being like, we obviously liked him on Freaks and Geeks, but he just being like, who does this kid think he is? And then he would just turn in the funniest scripts.
So, Johnny,
he just knew it and nailed it.
Wait, wasn't Byron Allen on that show too, though? Oh no, that's a different one.
You were right. You were right.
Wait, have you guys seen Comics Unleashed? Have you seen Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen? Hey, speaking of this thing, Byron Allen does this thing. You know how you guys do junkets, which is part of what you're kind of doing now?
Yeah.
But Byron Allen does this show where all he does is go on junkets. He goes to hotels, you know, and he interviews guys like everybody else does at the junkets, you know, because they bring the stars, like they bring Joan and Nick in, and then 40 guys that ask him questions. So then Byron Allen just goes in, you know, and he interviews you, but then he turns it into a show, like it's an interview show instead of a. So he goes, and then it's always like. It shows at 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, tonight on the it's Byron Allen's voice. He goes, tonight on the Entertainers, Jonas Hill, Harrison Ford, Eddie Murphy, George Harrison. It's like the biggest stars of all time.
So it's like a big talk show, but it's a junket.
And it's just him in like a small room, like with a guy with a poster behind him.
5 minutes
like
each,
2
right?
years ago that he did a movie. And then Byron, at the start of the interview, he goes, hey, man, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, he always starts the interview the same place, be like Harrison Ford, who clearly has no idea who Byron is. So Byron goes, hey, man, the last time we talked, man, you were doing that movie about the Russian guy. What's been going on with you, man? And so, like, you get in your head, maybe they have dinner together, and then so Harrison Ford, he goes, huh? But he doesn't want to look racist, you know? So he's like, oh, yeah, I remember. How have you been? He goes, pretty good, man, pretty good. So he's a master at it costs him nothing.
That's a really good practical joke.
Right. And Byron Allen is just one of 100 interviews he did that day.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Jonah, you guys started, if Wiki's right, you got started writing plays, and you went to New York to be an actor?
Yeah, I would write weird stuff in New York when I was like a freshman in college at New School University, and then I would perform them at this bar called Black and White, and then it kind of got popular.
One-man plays, or
sometimes with other people, yeah, like one acts and
right.
stuff, and then like weird performance art.
And then
things.
somebody stumbles in and sees you, and
they got kind of popular amongst students at my school and NYU and stuff, and then it got kind of like a following. It was pretty cool. I remember like a couple times I'd be like at dinner somewhere and someone would recognize me from it. And I would be so psyched because, like, they had just heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, "Hey, you're the guy that does those weird plays and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah."
What would be
yes, I am, Mom.
What would be a play? Like, what was your favorite one that was like your signature?
Well, they would do this open mic night. This is how it got started. Was basically they would do this open mic night. It was the only place that would let us drink because I didn't have a fake ID. So that they would let me drink there, and I was 18 and looked like I was like 12, you know. So, so my friend Michael took me there because he lived right around the corner, and the guys who owned the bar were really cool. And on Sunday night they had an open mic like storytelling night, so it'd be all like hipster East Village like junkies that would be like doing heroin on the A train, like not calling my dad, you know, like really serious stuff.
You don't have to say the second line. Not calling my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, we kind of surmised that.
Yeah. But yeah, very literal, like storytelling, like long stories. And I was like, man, I should just write like a fake one.
Oh yeah.
So I started writing fake ones that people thought were serious, and then like my friends knew it was I was lying. So like there was this one, the first one I wrote, that was probably my favorite because it was the first time I'd ever performed. And so I wrote this one about my dad having an affair with his Native American secretary. And then how I learned about Native American culture through this new woman who was like my surrogate mom, and like
I want to read that.
It was so weird, and everyone was just silent. It was like so serious, like there were no jokes in it or
Did your
anything.
friends laugh?
My friends, it was probably the funniest thing I've ever done because it was like no one knew I was joking. You know,
is this poetry?
Or, it was more like story,
like important stuff.
Yeah, like a 5-minute story. Like people would write like short story, reading their short stories or whatnot.
Like sometimes they'll do one-man play. Like, you know how people think their life's interesting? So I said one-man play. It was an hour and a half. So if I think of my life, like I couldn't cobble together an hour and a half of interesting.
No, it wasn't one of those things where I was like,
it was
1968, Brooklyn.
No,
I'm sitting over there. The Bombers are doing great this season.
No, the funny thing is when they say they have a big dramatic moment in the one-act play, but it's just something that happened to everyone, you know. And then they're like, and that's when I found out my mother had breast cancer. And then it blacks out. You're like, what? Doesn't that happen to everyone in the world? It's supposed to be all dramatic.
We have a gentleman that. Never mind. No, we have a gentleman who does.
When I was on Saturday
Night,
we've
got a guest, a one-act play guy that comes in. He used to come in a lot.
Right.
But one-act plays are great. Like when
if they're good,
they're good, like not one-man plays, one-act.
Well, no, this is a one-man show guy.
One-act plays.
Story.
One-act, one-man.
They're my favorite.
All right, we're gonna.
Great.
Let's break.
Have you ever done that in your acting career?
That's how I started. Then I started writing one-act plays.
Real one-act plays. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys don't find this interesting?
No, we do. It's just there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 open mics right now.
And I just don't know if we're making the Universal people happy.
Let's make sure that we're plugging the movie. Get them to the great. Can we take a break? Come back.
And it opens today. Is that right?
Would you
June 4th.
And would you guys be up to taking some phone calls from our fine listeners?
Yeah.
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 All right. Cool. If you guys have any questions for Jonah or Nick or hell, Michael McDonald. Who else is in here?
Wasn't he
No,
a
Norm.
singer? Wasn't he a rock singer?
I was just. I know it's Norm. I know it's
the
Norm.
Doobie Brothers?
Right, but
we don't
my
need
mind.
To hear your, we don't need to hear your filth.
973-8300 if you want to call in. We'll be back in a minute. Dudley and Bob Show. All right, we might get a couple of calls in for Jonah if you want. Jonah Hill of Get Him to the Geek.
Get Him to the Greek.
Sorry, y'all cut me a break. I was just talking about the geeks in Superbad. Yeah, we were just talking about that. So
Get Him to the Greek.
973-8300. Get Him to the Greek.
June 4th.
And I told. Yeah, it's not out yet? Oh, it's June 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it might be showing this weekend. But Bob saw it last night.
Wait, am I in this movie?
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
And Nick.
Do you know what it's about?
You're in the People versus Larry Flynn.
Because I asked Jonas, he said it wasn't even out on the screen yet.
Nick, is it
June
is
4th.
it a sequel somewhat loosely?
I would say it's a spin-off, but it's pretty different. There's not.
I heard it was a sequel to Weird Science.
That's your source is incorrect.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know.
You should get a new
I just know
source.
what I hear on the street.
The Saving Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting. You don't know the titles of any of the movies.
I loved you in Supergood too, by the way.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
It's good because I honestly can't remember your name.
That's all right. I'm Dave. That's okay. Just call me Dave. Everybody does. So
there's some recurring characters.
But is
in
the
there.
rock star that has the same name? Or?
Yeah, he's playing the same guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Russell Brand's character Aldous Snow is the same guy as he was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and other than that, there's no
Right, but
there's
Jonah
no
in this
overlap.
movie is a junior record executive who's got an idea that he's trying to get across to his boss, and his boss accepts it, and then you've got the responsibility. It's like a road picture. You've got the responsibility of getting this rock star.
It's kind of like a
this
dirty,
has-been.
almost famous.
He's not
is
really a
good-
has-been, but he's had rough times.
I would say it's kind of like a mix between Almost Famous and Midnight Run.
Yeah.
Now is it like
You know, like it's like a road movie with one guy escorting, a normal guy escorting
Right.
a really crazy, messed up guy.
A little bit of
and Trainspotting.
and The Last Detail, if you've ever seen that.
You know, we watched The Last Detail, like, I watched it, like, every day before we started Superbad. I thought that was, like, one of my main references for Superbad.
Yeah.
Because it's like three guys, like, out getting, like, hammered and, like, having crazy
I want to
time.
ask you that when you're doing, like...
Were you Randy Quaid?
I was Randy Quaid, obviously.
Yeah,
I watched Sid and Nancy before Get Him to the Greek. I'm not kidding. That was my
I watched my favorite year in Midnight Run and Almost
I just saw
Famous
My
a lot.
Favorite Year a few weeks ago. It was
my
good.
favorite year was so good. I was watching this hardcore.
How do you know when you're
porn.
shooting a
What?
comedy like this that you got it, that you're getting it right when you're filming it? I mean that
you hope and pray you're getting it right. You don't
because
really know.
there's not an audience there laughing. And I always wondered, you shoot several different takes in different ways.
We shoot every tone possible in each scene.
I'm getting that signal from the publicist. It's time to wrap up. That you guys have to go somewhere else.
Well, let's take a phone call before we leave because that was rude because we said we were going to.
The only phone call I have wants to ask Norm a question.
Okay, great. Well, I was just trying to be respectful.
No, you're very fine.
you
Listen,
know.
I'm a big fan.
Well,
It's
I
kind of crazy in here today. I wished I had about 1 million questions for you.
Oh man, well, no.
I wish I had questions for you.
Listen, I wish I knew the names of your films.
No. I said I have 1 million questions for you. I wish we had more time. Did I say I wish we had more questions?
I know what you meant. It's okay. June 4th, Get Him to the Greek. Austin's the best town ever, and I'm not BSing. It is the coolest place on earth.
I love this city.
It's so cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Well,
Are you
thanks so much for
staying,
having
Norm,
us.
or are you going?
I got a phone call.
Oh, you're staying for your phone call.
My apologies that.
Great to meet
Thanks.
you.
Great meeting
Yeah.
you, man. Really.
Thank you guys for having us.
No,
Yeah,
thanks for
very much.
coming in, guys. Get them to the Greek starting June 4th.
Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hey man,
Yeah,
much
I'll
success.
go
I
see
think
the
you'll do
movie,
really
man.
well.
Bye.
We'll
Nick,
see you
thank
around.
you.
Of course, thank you for
Thanks.
Thank you guys so
See you
much.
in LA, man.
Take care, everybody. Yeah. Thank you
See you, man. Thanks, Jonah. Bye.
Say
It's
goodbye
weird to say goodbye in the middle of the break,
Say
but
goodbye
bye.
to Matt.
Yeah, definitely will.
See ya.
Probably got to go do TV somewhere.
Yeah, normally they go to the TV stations.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, do the noon
You
shows.
want to take your call,
and
Norm?
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, let's take your call. Let's go to the phones. There's no calls coming in.
What? We even lost my caller?
What? No, your call's here. What's your call? What's your question?
Hey, Norm.
What?
Big fan. You're talking about your TV shows. I heard the Norm show's coming out on DVD. I was just wondering if you did any commentaries or special features for that.
Yeah, it is coming out on TV. It's coming out on, what do you call it?
DVD.
Yeah,
Those
it is coming out on DVD.
They're like laser discs,
but I don't make any money.
Smaller.
I don't make any
You don't?
money. But they said, we'll give you money to come and comment on it. So I went in a room, and they played the shows, and I just talked. But I found I was talking to this other guy, and I found I wasn't watching the show at all. I was just talking.
I think it might actually be worth getting it just
at
for
first
that.
you're commenting, you're like, that's interesting. That guy was cast at the last second. And then you realize in your mind, you go, no one cares about any of this. So then I just started going, hey, look, a coffee cup. But there wasn't a coffee cup that you'd be watching, but there was a coffee cup in the studio.
Did you remember the episodes as you were commenting? Did you remember the shooting or anything behind them?
No, I just, no, I don't know.
No.
I don't remember much.
They pay
I
you,
just, what?
They pay you well for commenting?
Not much, no.
No.
But it was just a day's work of going and looking at myself.
And talking
Should we
what?
just steal the DVDs, Norm?
What?
Should we just steal them then?
Yeah. No, well, listen, I'm not going to say straight out on the radio that you should commit a crime. You know?
You want me to say it for you?
What? That you should
go
crime?
steal them?
No, I wasn't thinking of that crime.
Oh, just any other crime?
Yeah, listen, man. Are you into bank heists?
No.
Ah, shoot, man. I'm looking for a getaway guy. It's the easiest job in the bank house, in the bank heist.
The wheelman?
Ah, that guy, man, he's the easiest. He just sits in the car while we all have to go into a bank with guns. Guy's just sitting in the car.
Yeah, but he's the guy with the cop is always, tapping on the window going, hey, move it along. This is no parking
that's
zone.
just in movies, man. That's just in movies. In real life, the guy's just parked in front of the ATM, and then you run out. There's gunfire going all around your head, and then you can't get the door open. You come on, Frank. And he's like, I told you guys, I'm not good with guns. And you're like, gun it. Hit the
pedal to the metal.
Yeah, well, like he wouldn't know that. That's his one thing. Like, drive
You
fast.
swear you've never had an acid flashback?
No, I've never had it. No, I never took acid. That was just a joke. I never took LSD.
Took it one time.
What happened?
I was at a Paul McCartney concert in Dallas because Paul McCartney that says acid when you hear Paul McCartney music, like songs like "Let 'Em In," and I was on a bus with the listeners. And this woman walked up to me. She goes, "Stick out your tongue." And I went like this. And she put this piece of paper on my tongue.
Without knowing.
And I didn't know anything was going on. And then
did she tell you?
No, yeah. She right after she put it on my tongue.
You didn't know you were going. You didn't think you were going insane.
You just took acid. Wow. And then later in the tunnel of Texas Stadium, there was a woman holding a box of Starbursts, and I also had a box of Starbursts. And something in my head told me that those must also be my Starbursts. So I went up to a strange woman and said, "Those are my Starbursts."
Wow.
Like a crazy person. And then it lasted till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
and wallpaper
really
was running down, and I had to call my girlfriend.
I'll be honest with you. I did it one time.
Well, why'd you lie?
Well, because I don't know why people think I did LSD, but I did it one time, and so I laid down on my bed. I was just a young boy, and I looked up, and it was a hanging plant for some reason in my room.
No, there wasn't.
And in the plant came the face of Jesus. The countenance of our Lord and Savior, Jesus, the pale Nazarene, suddenly showed up in my hanging plant. So I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, I'm on LSD. This must be like just a crazy trick of my eye, an optical, thing. And then I thought, wait a minute. What if it's just a coincidence that I'm on LSD and Jesus is showing up? That would be bad luck for me. You know what I mean? I get absolute proof he exists, and then I ignore it, thinking it was the
acid
effects of the acid. So then I'm in a quandary. I'm stuck in a quandary. I don't know if you guys have ever been stuck in a quandary. But
not while I'm on acid.
So, anyways, my quandary was it fixed itself because suddenly the face of Jesus morphed into the face of Trapper John M.D. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then I was like, oh, that's cool.
Which one, though? The one
Pernell
from
Roberts.
MASH?
Yeah,
or,
Pernell
okay.
Roberts.
The actor.
You must have seen it this morning.
I don't think you've ever seen MASH where they go, "Hey, Trapper John M.D."
That's true. That's true. You're right.
That's that must have freaked you out when our sports guy came in because he's got that white bearded
Oh, yeah, he
look.
looks like Trapper John M.D.
There's your flashback.
It's too weird when they have the character changes, like it's it's Wayne Rogers, and it's another guy, and you're like, what? He looks different. Like I remember one time as a little kid on Bewitched, suddenly Darren looked all different. you know, because it was a different
Right,
actor.
right.
But I was just a little kid.
But they were
so I
both
was
named
like,
Dick.
So I was like, yeah.
York and
So
Sargent.
I was like Dick York and Dick Sargent. But as a child, you see, I didn't know anything about Dick York or Dick Sargent or
What'd you
Elizabeth
think?
Montgomery. I thought of Darren Stevens and his wife, you know, Elizabeth Stevens or whatever her name was. Sam Stevens.
Samantha Stevens.
Yes.
So anyways, when I didn't know Dick York or Dick Sargent, all I knew was Darren Stevens. So when he suddenly changed appearance drastically,
Yeah.
I thought, what's that Endora up to this time?
Oh, boy.
You know, she was in Citizen Kane.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was in Citizen Kane. She always played,
Endora.
What about when
And
you
Mrs.
get
Crab.
cast? It's tough when you get cast as an old bag.
Yeah.
And like you know when you're reading the script, or it even says old bag shows up. You're like, what's this mine? But like they had the show Jake and the Fat Man. So
who was
William Conrad?
William
who was,
Conrad?
You know, he was
Bill
canon.
Conrad.
Yeah, Bill Conrad. Beautiful man, I hear.
Great actor.
But he was canon. He was a big star, big Quinn Martin star.
Mm-hmm.
And so he, you know, he was not a man to be trifled with. So if you're writing a script for somebody to be with, and you know, and you go, I would like to, you know, maybe a William Conrad vehicle might propel me. Yeah, you might not want to write. You know, you might not want to title it "Jake and the Fat Man," and then send it to William Conrad because William Conrad's like, "What the." I'm pretty sure I'm not Jake. And if I'm Jake, I don't want to be on the show at all because then it's really gross. But
I love the way your mind
Norm
works.
MacDonald tonight at Cap City and tomorrow night. And
All
we'll
these
sell out.
observations and more.
467-2333. Thanks for being here, dude.
Thanks a lot. Listen, God bless in the name of the Pale Nazarene. What? And hey, what about this, man? You know how you're.
It's like the Energizer Bunny.
Oh, I love that.
This lady told me this thing. I said, you know, if you're a Christian, you're kind of reviled nowadays in today's society. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're looked on as a joke, kind of. Bill Maher makes fun of you. But let's say you're a lady and you believe in astrology, right? Then suddenly everything's fine. Nobody thinks you're an idiot.
I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, New York? Nice. I actually got into an argument on the subway, and the guy quoted the Bible at me. That is not fair. Like, if you get to quote from your favorite book, I should be able to quote from my favorite book, right? He was like, men do not live on bread alone, Matthew 4:4. And it's like, everybody's a little bit magic, Harry Potter, chapter 7. It's not a fair fight, right? One of those books is a classic about a man who has sacrificed himself for the good of the world, and the other is the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying, people?
Roseanne, what are your thoughts on Harrison?
Well, I just love you, Harrison. You're fantastic. And you're real brave. I mean, the stuff you're talking about, Bible jokes, that's some brave.
Thank you.
And,
I disagree. I don't think the Bible joke is brave at all. I think if you're going to take on an entire religion, you should maybe know what you're talking about. J.K. Rowling is a Christian, and J.K. Rowling famously said that if you're familiar with the scriptures, you could easily guess the ending of her book.
huh?
Okay.
I don't like it.
You get a lot of attention on Twitter sphere for being open about your religious views. What are they?
I'm a Christian. It's not
Devout?
not stylish to say now.
No, are you devout?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord?
Yes, I do.
You think you're going somewhere when it ends?
I don't believe it, but what people don't understand about faith is that you have to choose it. You know what I mean? They think that you believe it, but you have to choose it.
So you choose to have faith?
Yes.
That means you believe you're going somewhere. What is faith? But I have faith.
Yeah, the same way that you believe. There's a lot of things I have faith, but I don't really believe in DNA. Like if I was on a jury and a guy was predicted that his DNA was on the cigarette, I go, I don't know what DNA is.
I see. So you don't have faith in that?
No, I don't have faith in science.
Really?
Well, think about it. Haven't scientists always been wrong? Like they used to think the sun went around the earth. Everybody's, hey, that's scientist. Well, he's so smart. We'll give him a white cover.
Other science refuted it.
Right, but back then, everybody at that time thought that guy was smart. Why at this time do we think that the earth goes around the sun?
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Huh?
Did Christ think the world was flat? These are questions I ask.
You know, I tweeted Richard Dawkins, the famous atheist.
Yeah, I know he is.
And, of course, he just thinks I'm a moron, because he went to Cambridge and I dropped out of high school. But I asked him, I said, why does life insist? And they didn't understand. What's that mean? I'm like, well, it means, I thought he was like smart. So I said, why does life,
I know what you mean,
need to create other life?
Right.
Why do you have to procreate? Why do you have to live?
And fight to stay alive.
Yeah, fight to stay alive and make sure that your genes stay alive. Why do you have to do that? Why, if nothing matters, wouldn't the obvious thing to do be go extinct? You know what I mean? To me, that would be the clear and obviously self-evident thing to do. And, in fairness to Richard Dawkins, he said, oh, well, that's a philosophical question that I'll ask my friends and I'll try to get back to you. So it was very nice. But I think it lies at the heart of theology, and people of faith, especially in this town, they'll say, you believe in an invisible man in the sky. And they already throw on you their ideas of what you believe in, although they don't know what you believe, they don't know what you think of as God, But the one question that have always bothered me and always bothers everybody is, how can children die if there's a benevolent God, right? And how can 6 million go through the chimney at Birkenau,
Mm-hmm.
And this is a question that I think I have an answer for, because I think a lot about this kind of stuff. Because I'd really like there to be a God. I don't know at all, but I really would like there to be a God.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sarah Silverman told me, she's like, so you really believe in it? I go, I'm trying, She's like, you believe in an invisible man in the sky? She said it that way. So I'm like, well, whatever, if you want to say it that way. So she's like, well, good luck with that. And I'm like, well, it's a good luck for you, too. It's not like your idea of like being thrown on the ground, having dirt tossed on you is such a beautiful, great idea.
That doesn't bother me.
Dirt thrown on you forever?
I mean, yeah, because I just sort of feel like it's probably just a blissful state of non-existence that I had before. Boy, I'm going to be really a huge bummer if that's not the case.
But if you have a blissful state of non-existence, then you're talking about an afterlife.
Well, okay, blissful is probably the wrong word. I just meant I'm not aware of anything, I think it'd be great if there was something, but if there's not, I think the worst thing would be your consciousness lives on, but there's nothing. So you just feel,
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, that would be hell.
I suppose.
I mean, Nabokov, I think, was the guy who said, like, he saw a picture of himself. I'm sorry, he saw a picture of his parents. And his parents had his older brother in his arm, and his mother had his older brother in her arms, and his mother and father and his older brother. But he had not been born yet. And he said he felt no grief or terror at that picture.
Sure.
Where he didn't exist.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. Like it's what you're saying. You know,
right.
That why be afraid of not existing? Because it's not really you that dies. It's the world that dies.
Sure.
And you know, everything there is. Everything there is and everything.
I mean, I think it would be fantastic if there was some sort of a transformation of, this is a conservation of emotional energy that, you know, once your emotional energy forms, it can't ever be destroyed, and it just disperses into the universe somehow, and you're a part of this thing that is you can't comprehend now, but once you're there, you'll totally get it.
It's very hard to believe.
But it'd be great if that were the, and I don't,
of course it would be great.
I don't fault anyone.
But here's my answer for the
What's the answer?
For the chimneys. Here's what I believe. If there is a God, and if he is good, and if he created the universe and the earth, then an all good being, what can he create? He can't create good, because that would just be expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So all he can create is bad. So he creates bad, and then in a cool twist, the bad that he creates is allowed itself in a godlike way to create good from the bad. Because originally God created good from the bad, then bad from the good, and then he gives man the exact opportunity. So just from a standpoint of logic, which, you know, is what atheists always try to say, I believe that there is an answer for the question of why God allows horrors, and that's what I come up with. But
I also,
you know, I have a rabbi who I talk to a lot. I'm not Jewish.
No, McDonald's. No,
I was for a year, but he's the guy that knows. You know, he's a scholar. You know, like my pastor doesn't know anything. Like he's just a pleasant guy. And he has,
I don't know. You should probably look that up. What is there? I mean, you know.
I know. If you ask him a direct question, you go, "Huh? What? Didn't you hear my sermon?" And the sermon's always like, you know, how to be a nice fella, you know, or something. You know, it's always nonsense. But this pastor, I phoned this pastor because I try to read the scriptures and study them. Last week I asked this priest, this rabbi. I was saying, like in the Old Testament, they have the Lord's Prayer. And in the Lord's Prayer, he says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And I said, how could God lead us into temptation? It's without his boundaries, you know, it's without his fence. God can't do that, if I'm correct about the God of the Old Testament. He cannot. It's not in his nature. You know, the devil can, but not God. So the devil's hard to believe in. Of all the religions, it's hard to say one's worse than the other, you know. But I can say with all belief that there's one religion that's just not true, and that's the Church of Satan. I think it even purports to be not true. Like, it's like, you know, there's a guy that's bigger than me.
Well, I think some of them, I think some of the people who are, and I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but just some of the stuff that I've seen online, I think some people adopt it as kind of a counter, like, okay, well, you guys have that guy over there with the beard, and then we have this guy, and we should all be accepting. It's not just that one, or just like, you know, I think sometimes I think it's
but do you really want to have a personal relationship with the devil? A guy, you know, it's the only religion where there's a bigger, stronger guy outside, you know, of the that the Satanists say exists.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But they say we're going to go with the
guy
underdog.
who was, well, because that guy, like, you know, that guy wasn't popular. He got cast out. So like, we're going to be with this guy over here. Cause
maybe that's it. Maybe he's an outlaw.
Yeah, he's kind of an outlaw. Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely the original outlaw. Look, I don't want to say too many good things about the devil. But I guess he was, now that you say it. He was the original.
I hadn't really thought about it before, but I guess now, yeah, he was the original guy who got kicked out of the party. You know, like who doesn't relate to that?
Exactly.
You know, it's like big popular guys having a party, and there's naked people running around. You know, there's snakes and apples. There's a beautiful garden. It's like, yeah, they get kicked out. You know, come on. Everyone knows what that feels like.
It's funny, like, you know, people think that whatever your religion you are, Christian or whatever, that you're so self-righteous, but actually, you know, they feel they're sinners. You know, when I was a Christian, I would sin all the time, and like I ate apples. That's on page 1 of the book. Worst possible thing you could do. And but anyways, I'm right now I'm of no faith. You know,
but you're looking for answers.
yeah, I'll find something. You know, I'm probably closer to Judaism right now than anything else.
So, Norm, your book, based on a true story, reads like a novelistic memoir. The central narrative is reminiscent of Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and you've got bits of Jack London, Steinbeck, and maybe just a dash of Tolstoy sprinkled in there for good measure. I'm curious about what you were hoping to accomplish with the book. Do you see it as kind of a parody of celebrity memoirs, an homage to your favorite authors, or is it something else entirely?
No, what I wanted to do was make the greatest comic novel of all time, because I love reading, but when it comes to comedy, it's incredibly hard to write comedy. You know, Mark Twain is funny.
Oh, yeah.
To an extent, he's funny. John Kennedy O'Toole's novel was funny.
A Confederacy of Dunces, yeah.
To an extent, it was funny, but it wasn't gut-busting funny. So I wanted to make a book that was, I knew I couldn't make it as strong as my stand-up. First of all, it's fiction. It really bothers me that it's on the nonfiction. Mm-hmm. New York Times considers it nonfiction because it's ridiculous. And I've had arguments with them because just because it says a memoir on the title is meaningless. You know, it's just the title. Anyways, no, that's what I was aiming to do, was to write the funniest novel that's ever been written.
Yeah, gut-busting.
Yeah.
One of the great things about the book is that it's unlike any other works of comedy I've ever encountered, whereas a lot of books by celebrities are confessional, telling the story behind the story. With this book, you turn that model on its head. You'll take a kernel of truth and spin it into a ridiculous story, like the time you worked on SNL and ended up with a 40-year prison sentence for contracting a hitman to kill a writer. And some reviewers have said the book ridicules audiences looking for some juicy gossip. Does that criticism hold any water for you? Is that something you were trying to do?
No, I wasn't trying to do it, but I did immediately understand that backstage holds nothing. Like in show business, backstage is just you're eating a sandwich trying to figure out what to do on stage. So, you know, on stage is the real thing. And so what I was trying to do with the book to make that point strongly was to make the book not backstage either, but rather on stage. I wanted to make the book a work, not talking about some other work, you know.
Mm-hmm, a novel as opposed to nonfiction. Yeah, and my sense is that maybe another reason why you wanted to turn your life into this work of fiction is because you're not a fan of confessional comedy, right? I've read that somewhere.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, this is a new thing that I didn't even know about until a couple of years ago, and I started noticing it in clubs, you know. And it was maddening. I didn't like it at all.
Why not?
Well, because I was always taught that the nature of art was to conceal, not to reveal. When people confess things, and they're told how brave they are, you know, because they have cancer or something, and they talk about it. Well, everyone has cancer. I mean, it's not rare at all. The brave thing to do if you have cancer is to not talk about it, is to just have it and keep it a secret and don't burden anyone with it. All you're doing is burdening people with those things.
You think so? You don't think it can ever be helpful to share this story for other people going through, in this case, going through cancer, dealing with cancer? You don't think that?
It might be, but I certainly doubt that's its intent. Its intent is to bask in the pity.
So it's kind of narcissistic, would it be fair to say, almost?
It's incredibly narcissistic. These are private things.
Yeah. Have you ever read Nick Tosh's 1992 biography of Dean Martin? It's called...
Yes.
You have?
Dino.
Yeah, excellent. Dino, Living High in the Dirty Business of Dreams. The reason I ask is because you've read it, you know this, but our listeners won't know this. One of Tosh's central arguments in the book is that Dean Martin approached his life and career with this thing called menefregissimo, an Italian word meaning I don't give an F. And it seems to me that you have a lot of that same spirit of menefregissimo, and that is a big part of your appeal and success. I would even go so far as to say that you could be described as the Dean Martin of stand-up comedy. Or maybe it would be more accurate to say that Dean Martin is the Norm MacDonald of male vocalists. What do you think? Do you think you've got the menefregissimo going on?
Dean Martin is my hero of all time. He's like my number one guy.
Really?
When I was a little kid, I would watch the Dean Martin show.
Sure. Gold Diggers, him coming down the fire pole?
Yes.
Yeah.
And something resonated with me that everything else seemed false, but he seemed real within that false framework. I always remember this sketch he did because he would get giant stars on the show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was him and Ruth Buzzy. They're in a cold water flat. They're supposed to be a couple. And she's in complete Ruth Buzzy garb with the handbag and everything.
Yeah, the old lady routine that she does, Gladys, I think the name was, that she would do with Artie Johnson on Laughing.
Exactly. And Dean Martin is wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah.
The same tuxedo that he had on for the opening monologue.
Yeah.
And he's just standing, reading from a card, not even looking at her. And she's acting up a awful storm, you know. There's a knock on the door. It's Sinatra, who's also wearing a tux. Oh, they also have a drink and a cigarette in their hands.
Oh, of course.
So they walk in, the sketch, and then Dean Martin sees something. I'll never forget this. He starts laughing, and he walks up and he looks at the cue card, you know, and he picks it up and starts reading it and laughing at how funny because he's never seen it before. So I don't know. It's sort of dereliction of duty in a way, you could say, but to me it was hysterical as a child. So yeah, Dean Martin was a gigantic influence in my life. It's funny that you stumbled onto that.
So Dean Martin's this huge influence. Is that the thing you took, the thing that I see in a lot of your comedy, the menefregissimo, the I don't give an F attitude?
Yes, I stole that from Dean Martin, note for note.
Wow. Okay.
But I love that thing. I forgot that phrase. What do you call it?
Menefregissimo. That's what Tosh calls it. It's a real word. It's like, actually, I looked it up. It's in Wiktionary. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun to say.
Menefregissimo, yeah. I would order that.
Yeah, menefregissimo with a little marinara on the side. Yeah, I would order it too.
Menefregissimo. I love that. Yeah.
So something else I read in terms of just writing a joke, that one of the things you often aspire to is you like to have a setup and punchline that are as close together as possible in terms of the wording. Right?
Yes. That was something that I tried to do on Weekend Update specifically, not in stand-up. Because it was a parody of the news, it needed to have the setup be a very rigidly written sentence that a newsman would say, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly like a newsman would say. Since it had that, I thought the punchline and the setup, if they were exactly the same, would be great, because then you're just pointing out the absurdity of the setup, you know? Oftentimes in a joke, I would do the setup and everyone would laugh, and then you don't even have to go on, you know? Because you can't comment on something that everybody already finds ridiculous and funny.
Yeah. Can you give me an example? Is there a joke that's come the closest, something that you told on Weekend Update that came closest to the setup and punchline almost matching word for word?
Yes, there was one joke. Lyle Lovett and Julie Roberts are getting divorced. The reason insiders cite is that she's Julia Roberts and he's Lyle Lovett.
yeah, that's great because they seem like such an odd couple. So yeah, you use the newsman setup, and then that is a classic. What is the biggest laugh you ever got? Like, you've gotten thousands, I guess, in all the years you've been doing stand-up. Is there one moment that you can point to as one of the biggest laughs or the most satisfying laughs you ever got?
No, I can't, because this is why. Because in live stand-up, this is something I learned also, because I was always afraid to speak to the audience, and I also thought it was very hackneyed to speak to the audience.
Oh, like to interact with them.
Yes, to interact with the crowd. And so I would just stare into the lights and do my jokes. As time went on and I gained a little maturity, I understood it was only fear that stopped me from talking to the audience, and that's what the audience loves. That's what makes it a live event. Otherwise, they could just watch it on YouTube, you know? They could just watch your act or just read your act off a piece of paper. So what they want is interaction. So that's why I can't cite the biggest laugh, because that's where the biggest laugh would come, organically out of a conversation with people.
Yeah.
I think about laughter quite a bit. And when you say, like, the biggest laugh, I find it very interesting. I was just thinking about this last week. The biggest laughs you'll ever hear in life are like at a Thanksgiving dinner with a bunch of loved ones. And nothing funny is said, you know? But there's this laughter that's going through the room. And it just comes from love. So I've been talking about love a lot in my act lately, because I find that to be a taboo subject.
I find that surprising. Why do you find love to be a taboo subject?
Well, no one talks about it. You know, no one finds any comedy in it. And yet it's central to everything there is.
Do you think because so much of comedy is based on conflict, love is difficult to turn into jokes?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Can you give me an example of a joke about love that you've told that you're particularly happy with?
Well, I talk about how much we don't love, you know, and how we can walk beside a homeless guy that's pleading for money and ignore him and stuff. I talk about, like, how a dog can love, and that's all it does, really, is love. You know, we can't even keep up with the dog. But now, this sounds not funny at all, as I say it.
Yeah.
But when I say it in a club, it catches people off guard. That's what it does. Because you're not supposed to be talking about that. You're supposed to be cynical. And I used to be cynical. I used to be a very cynical person.
So when did you stop being such a cynical person? What was the turning point?
I don't know. Just as I aged, just as anybody grows, you know.
Yeah.
Just constant introspection and seeing that what you do maybe is hollow or something, and so you have to change all the time.
Do you see, or have you seen your work as a stand-up comedian as hollow?
Yeah, my earlier work, yeah.
Yeah, because you're constantly improving and growing.
Yeah, I talked of nothing of consequence or significance. I do love comics that talk about minutiae. Like there's a comic named Brian Regan that I love, and Jerry Seinfeld.
Sure, yeah, the master of it.
And in some ways, I think those guys are the deepest of anybody, because they talk about the stuff of life, you know, the little things.
Yeah, life is made up of the details.
Yeah, exactly. So I certainly love that, but I guess my mind goes toward the more ethereal, especially as of late. You know, I live alone, I think a lot, so I sort of live in a fantasy world more than I wouldn't know what's inside a grocery store, you know.
It has its pros and cons to live in a fantasy world.
It has its pros and cons, yeah. You could lose your mind, that's the con.
Yeah.
But the pro is everything turns out all right.
Menefregismo, menefregista, el menefregismo, 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 menefregismo.
Norm MacDonald is a stand-up comedian and a fictional memoirist. His new book is called Based on a True Story, a memoir. His new stand-up special debuts on Netflix on Tuesday, May 9th. It's called NORM MACDONALD, Hitler's Dog, Gossip, and...
Yeah, well, I thought this was a memoir. I thought this was...
No, it only says a memoir on it, but it's a novel. I don't know, so I was angry when it was in the nonfiction.
Yeah.
Because it's a memoir. It says a memoir, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's like if you bought Grapes of Wrath, you're like, hey, there's no grapes.
Yeah.
Or you put it in the grape section. That's smart.
Yeah.
Then everybody will find Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
People that like grapes.
Okay, listen.
People constantly tell me, or I hear this, funniest man that ever lived.
Mel Brooks.
Do you believe that?
Sure. I mean, I think he's of an era. You know what I mean? I think he's still. I think the amazing thing about him, if you are, well, you're not wired that way. If you're a Jew and your wiring is Jewish, Mel Brooks is going to tap right into that.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I understand.
I turned
The best was Mel Brooks as the 2,000-year-old man. Still the funniest comedy album ever made. When he says to him, how'd you live 2,000 years? He says, well, once, I was 400 years old, and I got a tip that the angel of death was coming. And what I did was, I ate a whole clove of garlic, and I got under the covers, and the angel of death tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around and said, who is it? And he went away for 300 years. Mel Brooks.
Does he like the 2,000-year-old man?
Both parts of me.
I'm going to ask you one question about the 2,000-year-old man, then we're going to go to a break.
Okay.
Would not it have been easier to make him a 10,000-year-old man?
As a matter of fact, I was wrong making him a 2,000-year-old man because I asked him questions that happened before 2000. I asked him about Moses, and I realized, well, it was my mistake. Anyway, that's my fault. Steve Allen is the guy who is responsible for the 2,000-year-old man getting on record.
Oh, he is?
We did it at parties for years, 10 years. Mel and I did the 2,000-year-old man just for fun.
Yeah.
And everybody said, you got to put it on record, you got to put it on record. And we said, no, this is only for Jews and non-anti-Semitic Gentiles. And finally, Steve Allen said, fellas, if you don't do it, George Burns says, if you don't, he saw it at a party, if you don't put it on a record, I'm going to steal it. And Edward G. Robinson said, put it on a record. He says, I want to make a play. I want to make a play out of that. Make a play out of that. That's what he said. Make a play out of that. I want to play the 1,000-year-old man. I says, 2,000. I can play any age. And it was Steve Allen who said, fellas, take my studio, go whale. And we did. We whaled for 2 hours, cut it down to 47 minutes, and there it was.
Now, in that story, Edward G. Robinson's the funny man.
Yeah.
Steve Allen just let you use the studio. But it was you who created the 2,000-year-old man. Not even Mel Brooks. You.
Yes.
Mel Brooks is amazing. He's doing the show next week.
Is he?
Yeah.
There's nobody funnier.
Wait, what show?
I've interviewed, he's doing your show
here?
Yeah. I've interviewed every funny person in the world. You're very funny. Yeah. There's nobody.
Am I second?
Because Mel Brooks is a freaking genius. I had him on my show the night Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. Right?
Allegedly.
He's on my radio show.
Allegedly.
But also, really.
Yeah.
But okay, my guess is the 2,000-year-old man tonight. Man has landed on the moon. What do you think of that? And out of nowhere, he says, I love the moon. The moon, in my whole life, 2,000 years, is my favorite thing is the moon. I said, why? He says, because for 400 years, I thought I had a cataract. And one day, this guy named Irving said, isn't the moon beautiful tonight? I said, the what?
Irving.
No, that's funny.
Mel,
All right. Let me count my fingers for you. Carl Reiner said. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left hand. So when, you know, this will be our day, but there'll be a lot of tourists in the future who might notice that I had 6 fingers on my left hand. You know, if they're aware, but they're all from Des Moines, they'll never notice it.
That's the best part of the picture right there. I'm crazy about that guy. I love him. I can't get enough of him.
Adorable. Mel Brooks.
How did you start in the film business?
I mostly like this one. Yes, who is it? Mel Brooks. Yes? Well, I got free coffees. I got free coffees here to someone inside. Can I come in? Then I came in and said, I got no coffee. It's Mel Brooks. I'm in show business. And they let me in.
Yeah.
And I
So you're an Oscar winner. We were just discussing the Oscars. I don't know if you were paying attention.
Yes,
to that.
I am an Oscar winner.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to thank...
Are you going to use yours for a doorstop?
Still thinking, right?
My Oscar...
Where is your Oscar?
My Oscar. My Oscar's living in Detroit now. Well...
In this film, High Anxiety, you sing. And I cannot judge whether that's good or not. But you write your own songs, you sing your own songs, you act your own films, you direct them, you write them.
Well, if you hire other people, you have to pay them money. Saves a few dollars when you do everything yourself, you know what I mean? They're the greatest people in the world. They have heart, they have soul, they have time, they have a joy, a joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre.
Yes. The French have a joie de vivre.
That's true.
Jews have a...
Your son, the tall one. Believe it or not, I have brothers and a mother. Everybody in my family is about 4'3", 4'4".
Kidding.
I am called Stretch at home.
An older appearance, and to look like a person, you know? He's a silly kid. He's just really a silly kid. I really love you. I really love you.
Well, you know, you keep saying...
I really love you.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Really, there's...
And I don't fall in love with guys, you know what I mean? I'm pretty tough myself. But every once in a while, a beauty comes along and... Professional singer. I'm not even a professional actor. I'm not a professional director. I am a professional tailor. Stand up. I'll show you. Take in here. Here is nice. Here is good. The crowd.
Very good.
Here we can make here, under the arms. I am... Sit down.
Beautiful, thank you.
You just made a film in Yugoslavia.
Yes.
Is that not true?
That's true, sir.
Why would you go to Yugoslavia when you could... Can't you find locations in America that look like Yugoslavia? Oh, there's no time for you to answer that. We will be
Well, I'm going to answer it anyway. I don't care about your stinking commercial.
We'll be right back. Would you like a piece of goat cheese?
Goat cheese? How so?
I have a piece for you.
I'd like. Where is it?
It's right here.
Is it really goat cheese?
Yeah, it's really good. Do you want to split it? It was in my lunch, and I know how you like goat cheese, and
I'll have a little bit.
I brought that for you. It's good, isn't it?
It's feta cheese.
It's what?
Feta, F-E-T-A, Greek cheese, goat cheese.
Did they have that in Yugoslavia when you were making your film?
Wood. We ate wood.
I see.
There was nothing to do at night. There was no fun. Tito had the car.
I'm not going to help.
What's next, Mel? Come on.
No, I don't want to interfere.
You're not interfering. This is fun this way.
This is Susan Spot. This is Susan Spot.
No, this is Susan Blakely.
Oh, sorry. Spot, back. Now, but may I ask you some more questions? Two hard-boiled eggs. Now, may I ask you some
Certainly.
questions? Yeah. What do you think of me?
Chapeau.
Okay. It's not the best one, but...
Will it do?
Sure.
Can you make do with that? I don't know why the 2,000-year-old man wears a cape.
It's the worst cape. They got me the worst.
Wonderful.
All right, I'm getting in character, I'm feeling it, I'm Jewish. All right.
Heard that you're married to the most beautiful woman in the world. Is that true, Mr. Brooks?
No, I'm married to Anne Bancroft. Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful wife, my gorgeous wife, Anne Bancroft. I had no idea. I had no idea my wife was coming on, but it's always a pleasure to see my wife. Always. Because she earns a good salary, and I tell you that when you marry somebody, whether it's a boy or a girl, whatever you marry, you must make sure that they contribute to the financial pot of the house. They must contribute something. Just a smile is not enough. It's not enough. You have to chip in a few dollars, a few pennies. Chip in she brings all her money home. Yes.
No cafeteria.
Yes, and I invest all her money into this pocket. Make sure it's